Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I need to tell you this story. It was the day that my mother died. I called all my friends and who were local, family, and told them to come around. We were going to lift her up. Lifting her up is sharing stories and shining a light on her life and her contributions in the world. It helps those who are grieving to walk through the process and see the light and the love that is being given to us and that has been given to us rather than focusing on the loss. It's also an African way of lifting up the spirit of that loved one so that we will be able to call on them and talk to them and converse with them again. Anyway, tons of folks had converged on my house, and one friend said, I know you don't drink at your house, but can we bring liquor? I said, it's not that we don't drink at my house, it's that my mother was in recovery and we just didn't keep alcohol around. Yeah, bring your liquor. So they made daiquiris and they told stories and we sang songs. And at one point, the chair that my mother always sat in, it just broke. The legs of it broke off and fell to the floor. And it was right at the point where somebody was getting a little bit beside themselves. And it was like mom was there and she was going, you better behave. So we just hollered and laughed. I had one friend who was walking around like really somber and just really like, no, we need to be sad. Now, it was my role to call my mother's older relatives to let them know that she was gone. And this was a big task because she was very, very loved. And, the elders were close to her and she was close to them. And the relationship was tight. And so, like, I felt like this kid being given this very grown responsibility, which it was. And so this friend kept walking around and just rubbing my back and going, you're going to have to grieve. You're going to have to let go. You're going to have to, I know you're holding up for everyone else, but at some point it is the healthy thing for you to let this go, let this go. I said, no, no, no. You're going to have to let that go because I don't know what it is, but it's not working right now. And this is not the time. And every time I'd come around a corner there, she'd be like, you're going to have to let it go. You're going to have to grieve. Grieving is a natural process and you're going to have to grieve. You're going to have to let it go. I said, I am grieving. I'm grieving. Look around the room. We're all grieving. We're all grieving. But this is not the time. The kids are all here. There's young folks. There's older folks. I'm calling these relatives who are wailing in my ears and I have to be there for them for now. I will have all the time. I said, but more importantly, my mother has been dying for the last 2 years. That was the hard part. Now she's at peace. This is the time to rejoice. It is for me. She's no longer suffering. And she kept going. She's like, well, I'm a life coach. I'm a certified life coach. And I'm telling you right now that you're going to need to grieve. This is an important moment for you. This is your mother. And I'm like, I'm telling you right now. And at that moment, my sister Janine came in and she was like, look, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you think this technique is, but she already told you what needs to happen, and you don't want to see what you're about to see. And she got to see it. Now, my filter was not as good as it is now. It's not as clean, and I kind of let out a string of things that my mother would have said. And my mom could cuss like a sailor. Anyway, she was like, well, I need to grieve. And I said, then you do that. But right now, this is what I'm doing. And I had this friend who I called and I let him know, and he's from Africa, and long line family. And he said, are you lifting her up? And I said, yeah, that's what we're doing right now. He said, listen to me. I said, I'm listening to you. He said, lift her up. You will have a chance to grieve. I said, I know that's what I'm doing. He said, for the next 48 hours, you make sure you sing songs. You lift up her name. You tell stories about her life. You encourage one another to live like she lived. I said, that's what we're doing. And he said, this is good. This is good. You have been taught well. Your mother taught you well. Everybody doesn't go through stuff the same way. It is not a sign of weakness to wail and cry, nor is it a sign of just ignoring the situation if you don't. It is not a sign of weakness if you show emotions. It's not a sign of weakness if you don't show emotions. We all go through things differently. And I think the measure of grace that we can give to one another is to allow folks to do what they need to do and share some of our traditions and culture and light around lifting up the light of others. I love you. And every day we get to walk this earth and learn new things and share new ideas. Let's share the good and stop trying to demand of others that we all do the same thing. I love you.